Hello, and welcome to another edition of You Have to Ask the Question. I'm Rabbi Ari Hill, and I hope everyone's well. Relationships, right? The Torah speaks a lot about relationships. Hashem has a relationship with Klal Yisrael in the form of a marriage. That's what we're coming up to on the holiday of Shavuos. We also know that Klal Yisrael has a relationship, a marriage, so to speak, with Hashem. With the Torah, in the sense that the Klal Yisrael is also married to the Torah. We see that by Simchas Torah. We have Chasen Torah, Chasen Bereshis. They use the term that Klal Yisrael, the one who's getting the Aliyah, is called a Chasen. So therefore, who's the Kala in that scenario? The Torah. And Maimon Har Sinai, when we received the Torah, when Hashem engaged us, Hashem had the role of the Chasen, and we were the Kala. It's clear to anyone who looks throughout all the Jewish law that relationships are very, very important. Marriage between a man and a wife, between parents and their children, between siblings, between all Jews in general, the idea of having a relationship and working in the sense of the community, working as one. Could be that that's causing us, getting us an understanding to create that oneness is in order to be Megala, to reveal the oneness of Hashem, which is the ultimate goal of this world, and to us to become attached to the oneness, to reattach ourselves, so to speak, openly to the oneness of Hashem. So the question we should ask ourselves is, how do you get a relationship? And this is a question I think that not only I ask, but I think a lot of people ask it, because you see by the number of books that are written, both secular and Torah books, that are written on the idea of how get a relationship, the number of conversations and talks and speeches and lectures on what is a relationship, how to maintain a proper relationship, how to build your relationship, how to have a better relationship. So we have a lot of talks, and we have a lot of words on there. So it occurred to me once that there's a very straightforward way that the Torah tells us what is and defines how to make a relationship and how to build a relationship. And it comes from the three psukim that we say from Hosea, that when a man puts on his tefillin every day, when he ties up his fingers, the finger parts of his tefillin, as one knows, you put on the tefillin shel yad. Many of us know you tie the tefillin shel yad, you wrap it 7 times around your hand, around your arm. Then you would then put on the tefillin shel rosh, the head part, tighten that. You make a bracha after each one, and then finally you then wrap up your fingers. If you'll notice, I did my right arm instead of most people doing their left arms. I happen to be left-handed, and therefore I do put my tefillin on my right arm. However, primarily, most Jews put their tefillin on their left arm, which is the side closest to the heart. And therefore, there's a bond between tying our hearts, again, focusing on this idea of relationship and the tefillin. When we tie our fingers tie the knots around our fingers, the tefillin straps, we say 3 psukim, right? From the Navi Hosea. And each of these psukim begin with the word ve'arstich. Ve'arstich really means to engage. Hashem is now saying through the prophet, I am going to engage you. I am going to form a relationship with you. And what are these 3 verses? So the first one is ve'arstich li le'olam. I will engage you forever. It goes on and says ve'arstich li b'tzedek mishpat b'chesed u'berachamim. I will engage you with righteousness, with judgment, with chesed, with charity, ubirachmim, and mercy. Finally, the 3rd verse says, "Ve'arstich li be'amuna." I will engage you with trust or belief. Different definition. There's many nuances to the word amuna. V'yadatas Hashem, and then you will know Hashem. So Hashem is telling us, He's making a promise to us that I am going to engage you. And in each of these steps, we understand Hashem forms a new relationship. Is it a new relationship, or is it part of the building of the same relationship? One would ask. The question that bothered me initially was, why do you need 3 psukim? Why do you have to preface it? Why don't you just write it? Erestik li li olam, b'tzedek, b'mishpat, b'chesed, b'rachamim, u'be'amuna, V'yedatas Hashem. Why is it all one? So it could be that the Navi is showing us in the manner in which Hashem is going to engage us and form this relationship is how to form a proper relationship. So if we take a look at the first part of the first pasuk, it says V'hastikli b'amuna. Amuna means forever. First thing any relationship needs is commitment. People are committed to the same goals and same ideas that they want to have this relationship. They want to have it forever. They're in this for the long haul. Every relationship starts with a commitment that I am here and I want to build this relationship. The second stage could be Erastik li b'tzedek mishpat chesed urachamim. How is the relationship going to work? What's the responsibilities to each person in the relationship? And with that, the Torah tells us how we're going to should treat each other. I'm going to treat you righteously. I'm going to treat you fairly. I'm going to treat you charitably, and I'm going to treat you with mercy. And consequently, the other person in the relationship should be making the same commitment. Once those 5 pieces are in place, we get to the next stage in the relationship. V'astik li b'amuna. I will engage you with trust. What does it mean to trust? It means that there's a relying. Most relationships we hear, we don't trust each other anymore. How can I ever trust you after you do this? You broke my trust. You betrayed me. There's the level that brings after how we treat each other properly with these animals and with the commitment brings us to the level where we have that trust with each other, where we know. Once we have all those 6 pieces in place, we begin to get to a new level, a new experience. V'yedatas Hashem, and you will know Hashem. The word yedat is always is a reference to intimacy. As it says in Bereshis, a man will yedatas ishta, a man will know his wife, and they will become basa echad, they become one flesh. The culmination of a relationship is that becomes the oneness, and that comes with the idea of yitgiya. So when we're forming relationships, friendships, relationships with our wives, with our children, we have to input all these 6 concepts in there. We have to start with commitment. I am there for you. You know I'm going to be there for you. You show the person I'm going to be there. You're committed not only with your actions, with your words, and with your presence. Not presence of gifts, but presence of being there, which is probably the greatest presence of all. Afterwards, you have to understand how we are going to always treat each other. It falls into these 4 categories. I'm going to treat you righteously. I'm going to treat you fairly. I'm going to treat you with charity when you need it, and I'm going to treat you with mercy when you need it. Finally, once we do that, we hopefully have that relationship where there's a trust between each one. And once we have our trust, once we have that relationship, then we will finally know Hashem. We will finally have that intimate experience. And hopefully we can translate that and use that in our daily lives, that we build the proper relationships. We do the things that are necessary in order to implement this, so we can have a true engagement. Erastikli. And it comes from me. It doesn't matter what the other person is doing right now. I only have to worry. Hashem is saying, I am going to do all these things. It's not asking for anything. It's not a quid pro quo. I did this, you need to do that. You owe me. It's not an owing relationship. There's no exchange. It's not a barter system. Forming a relationship is, I am going to do this. I am committed to this no matter what. We should have a wonderful Shabbos. We should have a wonderful week. We should build our relationships strong and hopefully together as one bring the Mashiach.